You are listening to Bedtime Dreamy Tales. Please make sure you have smashed that like button and subscribe to our channel for new story titled The True Bride. Once upon a time, in a verdant valley surrounded by towering mountains, there lived a young and beautiful girl named Elara. Her mother had passed away when she was but a child, leaving her in the care of her father and her cruel stepmother, Isolde. Isolde, with a heart as cold as the mountain peaks, devised endless tasks to torment Elara and make her life miserable. Despite the hardships, Elara responded with kindness and diligence, attempting every task with a spirit that never waned. However, her stepmother's greed and malice knew no bounds. The more Elara worked, the more tasks Isolde piled on her, hoping to crush her spirits completely. One day, Isolde handed Elara a seemingly impossible task. "Here are 12 pounds of feathers," she sneered. "You must pluck them all by sunset, or you shall feel the back of my hand. Do you think you can idle your days away?" With a heavy heart, Elara began her task, tears streaming down her cheeks, knowing well the day's end would bring only pain, for the task was impossible. As she sat plucking, a gentle voice whispered, "Do not worry, my child, I am here to help you." Elara looked up to see an old woman with a kind face and sparkling eyes. This mysterious helper was none other than Matilda, a benevolent witch who lived hidden in the forest. Taking pity on Elara, Matilda waved her hands, and magically, the feathers separated themselves from their quills, floating into a neat pile. By evening, when Isolde came to check, she was stunned to see the task completed. "Look at this, you lazy girl," she snapped, disbelief in her eyes. "If you can finish this, you can do much more." And with a cruel smile, she planned an even harder task for the next day. The following morning, Isolde commanded, "Take the spoon and empty the water from the large pond in the garden by tonight." Handing Elara a spoon riddled with holes, she smirked cruelly. The task was clearly impossible. Elara could never empty the pond with such a tool. Heartbroken, Elara started her hopeless work, tears falling into the pond. Yet again, Matilda appeared. "Rest now, my child," she said, guiding Elara to a shady nook. With a wave of her hand, Matilda caused the pond's water to rise as mist, blending with the clouds above, and by sunset, the pond was dry. Elara, waking from her rest, was amazed to find the task completed and ran to tell her stepmother, who was furious but hid her rage behind feigned calm. The next day, Isolde's demands grew even more absurd. "You will build me a castle on that plain by tonight," she ordered. Elara, shocked and defeated, knew this was beyond any human capability. But once again, Matilda came to her rescue, constructing a magnificent castle with her magical powers. By sunset, the castle stood majestic and complete, furnished with the finest silks and gold. As Elara's fame for her beauty and supposed feats spread across the kingdom, suitors arrived in droves, but none could win her heart. That changed when a prince, captivated by tales of her grace and virtue, visited. They soon fell in love, and the prince promised to return with his father's blessing for their marriage after a brief journey home. However, days turned into weeks with no sign of him. Heartbroken and determined, Elara dressed in her finest clothes adorned with stars, moons, and suns, and set out to find him, her journey leading her to become a humble shepherdess in disguise, guarding a herd of cattle, including a calf that would kneel beside her, as she sang of her lost love. During a royal wedding in the city, which the prince was to attend, Elara seized her chance. Dressed in her splendid attire, she attended the 3-day feast. Each night, she wore a different gown, dazzling all who saw her, yet no one recognized the shepherdess in the radiant figure before them. On the final night, adorned in a gown sparkling with stars, Elara approached the prince, who felt a stir of memory at her familiar presence. As she kissed his cheek, the place where she had once bid him to allow no other's kiss, recognition dawned on him. Overwhelmed with joy and remorse, he declared her his true bride. Together, they rode back to the castle, past the Bodhi tree under which she had waited, now aflutter with fireflies. As they passed, the prince vowed never to leave her side again, and their wedding was celebrated with grandeur. In the castle that Matilda had built, Elara finally found her happiness, her days of sorrow washed away by the love and loyalty that had triumphed. The castle, filled with laughter and love, stood as a testament to her resilience and the magic that had saved her, truly making her the true bride. If you like this story, please give this video a like and comment below with your thoughts. See you in the next story.